What's up YouTube? This is Kokorin TCG back with another video, and today I will be going over my Gem Knights deck profile. I'm actually quite close to finishing this deck. Not really sure if I really want to commit the last bit of resources, or if I want to save those for Exculpate and a couple of sets, but let's go over the list. My Gem Knight list is playing 9 draw and 4 heal. I've been seeing other lists play crits, and if you like the crits and you can get away with the crits, I'd say go ahead and play them. You do call quite a bit from the deck, but I think 9 draw is just really consistent. Make sure you hit your PGs, and between Julia and Salome, you will hit that extra crit pretty consistently, unless you're going up against matchups like Eradicators or Shadow Paladins that retire your board pretty frequently. So I think that this list is very strong. I prefer to play Gancelot in here because, one, I worked very hard to get my 4 copies of Gancelot, and if Beans and Spike Brothers is really strong, being able to constantly shuffle back in the deck, even though you can do it 4 times, being able to reshuffle your heal is so valuable. And I think a lot of people, if you don't have your Gancelots, this deck is still really strong. If you have your Gancelots, why not play them? So I'm opting to play the Gancelots. For the starter, you can play Liebergol if you're worried about hitting those grade 3s, but I'm just playing Heloise here because having an 8k booster behind Vanguard or any of my columns is just really good. For PG, of course, I'm playing 4 copies of the Filter. Prismy is just really good. It's not as consistent as like a Lien in normal Royals, but it's just good enough for the deck, and you can get its effect off fairly consistently. We have 4 copies of the 10k Attacker because this deck is very xenophobic. You're going to want to make sure that you have those Jewel Knight names on board so you can hit your crits and you can get a very consistent hand full of PGs. And this is one of the ways you do it, is playing high counts of cards like Shelly, so we're playing 4 of those. I'm also playing 1 copy of the Dendra. I wish I could play other cards in its place, or I wish I could play more of them at least. But this deck is very xenophobic, meaning you want Jewel Knight cards with Jewel Knight card names. This doesn't have a Jewel Knight card name, so we can only play 1. In the grade 2s, of course, 4 Blaster Blade because Retire is absolutely broken. We're also going to find ourselves 4 copies of Tracy. It has a nice 12k body when you have 4 Jewel Knights on board, and this is really good, especially in the Aquaforce matchup. It can really mess with their columns, and it's just a good time for you when you have Tracy on rearguard. And a lot of decks will struggle, especially if they struggle to draw into their pieces. We have 4 copies of Tilda. Tilda is probably the most important grade 2 in the deck. You usually want to keep this in the back row prior to a grade 3 ride. And when you ride the grade 3, you can find all the grade 1s you need to get off the skills. So she is part of that main engine that makes sure you get the pieces you need. Finally, I'm just playing 1 of the 11k Attacker because that's all we had space for. In the grade 3s, I am playing 4 copies of Gancelot. Gancelot is absolutely busted, and don't let anybody tell you otherwise. People who play Gancelot hate Gancelot, and people who do not play Gancelot also hate Gancelot. Play Gancelot. Then, of course, 3 Salome. I only was able to hit 1 SP on the banner, but this card is your finisher, and it's your ride target after you find your break ride piece. Gets a nice crit, and can also find you a grade 1 Jewel Knight to get off the effect. We have 4 copies of Ashley. Ashley is an amazing break ride in general for Royals, being able to give that Vanguard an extra crit and being able to find more grade 1s. So you're never without a booster in this deck, I feel like. So just amazing card overall. And finally, we have 1 copy of Fearless Jewel Knight Julia, and she is just that one of, if you like Palamedes, if you like King of Knights Alfred, maybe you want a Soul Saver in here. That is totally up to you. Sky's the limit, but I've just opted to tech in Julia for the Jewel Knight name. Anyways, guys, this is my Jewel Knight list. We're going to go on to some games now. Let me know in the comments below, do you play something different in your list? What do you think of my list? And let's get a discussion going. Don't forget to smash that like button, leave a comment. The more comments you guys leave, the better the content is for you guys. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I really love doing this, and hopefully you guys love my content too. Okay, so this is the game with my Jewel Knights list. Playing the 9 draw, you can get the crit off of the Salome pretty easily between the Salome and the Ashley. So hopefully that works out this game. I got way too many grade 1s here, so I'm just gonna chuck those back. And the hand kind of fixes for us. It feels really good here. I get 2 of these, so I'm allowed to play it. This is a really strong filter. And let's go ahead and I think it's just fair to pass here. Yeah. Just gonna adjust my screen real quick. New setup for the next 2 months. No draw trigger, and we lose a Blaster Blade, which is gonna hurt if we draw into too many Gancelots later in the game. So hopefully I don't run into that problem, but who knows? Who knows? I'm forced to ride my Blaster Blade. Feels bad. But there's not much I can do about that. You know, just gonna go ahead and push the 1. In this matchup, if you're gonna lose the starter, but at least you can hopefully heal like I just did there, which feels really good. Feels really good. Little unfortunate, I couldn't find a Salome on that draw there, so hopefully I find it later. Because I don't want a Morikawa hand against Eradicators. It's just a little scary. I would say this is one of your harder matchups because between your Prismy and your Shelly, and a lot of the other cards, they require to have a lot of Jewel Knights. It's very xenophobic, so it can be really hard to stabilize that board when you have Erads ruining your day. So I'm gonna go ahead and ride Ashley here. If I'm gonna do I'm actually gonna hold that because I don't know if I'll ever get anything else again. Put that behind, I guess. That was a misplay there, guys. I can capitalize though. I think I'm just gonna try to push him to 3. Yeah, I think that's a plan. I can ditch this. Hopefully I find a better card here. Like a Salome. Finds the Salome. That's the actual only personal copy I have, the SP. Nice to see here. We're gonna go ahead and try to push 3. If they get a defensive here, it's gonna be a 1 to pass. So hopefully I can pass. I'm not gonna lie, this is a very aggressive board. I really didn't need to push this hard this early. Thankfully, I get a draw trigger to find my way out of this problem, but it's just not a really good idea to push this fast. You're gonna lose all your resources. So, fingers crossed. Also, in the comments below, let me know what you guys think of the soundtrack. I usually use this playlist for Twitch. It's all royalty-free music, but I'm kind of curious to hear if you guys want me to continue using this or if you want me to actually just keep using in-game music for the battles. But for the rest of the month, I hope to be able to do these voiceovers for stuff. And I really like how my opponent set this up here. They confirmed that second column here with the 21k. It's going to be pushing 3. Hopefully I can find another PG so I'm allowed to push damage. Otherwise it's going to be a little awkward pushing damage next turn. Speak of the devil, there's my PG, but you can't really do much about it. It happens. Find myself an Ashley though. It is kind of nice because I don't really need it. I should have one more Blaster Blade in the deck. This game's really unfortunate for Blaster Blade, but hopefully we stop drawing Gancelots. That's the hope. Yeah, it should be fine. I don't really see a point in using the Blaster Blade Retire here. I can save the Counter Blast for Ashley and Salome and just push to 5. That's going to accelerate the Erad's tempo, and it's going to force him to play on my tempo. So hopefully I don't get burned for this. So that's the hope. No trigger from my opponent. Let's see if I can find the heal trigger on top. That would be amazing. Or maybe just a draw here, actually. Nothing. You hate to see it. It's a little unfortunate. I didn't see any Tildas this game. Tilda is an amazing grade 2 for this deck, guys. You want to be maxing out this card. Just so good at making sure you can rebuild columns and rebuild boards. My opponent's going to go for Gauntlet Buster here, and to be honest, I'm not afraid of Gauntlet Buster. So, like, they'll give me my Break Ride, and I'll just be cruising here. I have nothing to worry about. Still missing some of those PGs, but can't really complain too much. And so I'm hoping to potentially finish game next turn. That would be really nice if we can just end it here. No need to play a long game. Really unfortunate. I don't find the Tracy until I'm able to ride the Salome here. I'm going to start building up a column. We'll put that there. We're going to try to swing with that. Okay. We're going to use a skill. I'm probably going to end up using it twice here because I don't have a board at all, which really hurts, guys. I probably won't be playing Jewel Knights too much in the future, even if I get this built. This deck tends to rely on its grade 1s, and I'm a very defensive player. So it makes me feel a little uncomfortable only relying on these grade 1s like that, but either way, we try to make do. I'm not going to ditch the Tracy here. I'm actually going to keep it, play it. And hopefully we're able to take out the Erad here, because if not, we lose. We lose if we can't beat them here. Let's actually buff boost the rear guard properly. PG1, do they have the second? Yep, and we get a concede from the opponent here. Pretty strong game for Jewel Knights here. I think I want to play one more because I want to see if I can try to actually get off a Tracy. And I have a ton of matches, you guys can see. I guess you could say I took a break last month from the content thing, so, you know, I should be able to afford 2 games with this deck. Also pretty cool, this is my rank up game, so let's see if Jewel Knights can take us to that finish line here, get us to rank 1. It looks like we're going up against another Erads. It's just see left and right. Can't go 5 games without seeing Erads. And guys, this hand is absolutely amazing. We keep everything. If anything, maybe I dropped a Tracy. One of the Tracys, but we're gonna keep both. Or is this Tracy? Yeah, this is Tracy. Yeah. We have another game with me going second against Erads. Hopefully they're not eating crayons and decide to get rid of my starter. Like, this is probably, if they're gonna try to retire something with Lenshu, be better off being like my Tilda in the future, or my 10k attacker, my grade 1 here. That'd probably be their best target. Yeah, the Shelly. Gonna go ahead and swing. Not playing the crits in here because I want to make sure I'm drawing pieces, and from the testing I've seen already these past couple of days, well, days, a single day, chat, single day, YouTube, it seems like playing the crits is really strong, especially for the late game. It combos well with Salome and Ashley and a lot of your other pieces, but if you play too many crits, then you're just not going to be able to keep tempo with other decks. So playing those extra draws, make sure that you're going to be able to properly apply pressure and keep applying pressure. That's where I was going with it. Okay, I'm cool with that. Hopefully they soul charge another trigger here. That would be amazing. Okay. I do have the Blaster Blade on lock for when they start to get a little handsy, but for now, this hand doesn't feel too strong for doing too much. I'm probably going to throw this Tracy behind. I know it's instantly going to get sniped with the Linchu. I mean, if they snipe it, they snipe it. I won't have to deal with Linchu for the rest of the game. I think I'm just gonna rationalize it that way. Yeah, that Linchu starter being a real thorn in Julby's side here, really making it difficult to stabilize the board. I think that's kind of like the theme of this Break Ride meta, is like decks being able to stabilize. With these Break Ride decks, you know, you want to get that 4 damage so you can Break Ride, but you know your opponent has to push it, so you have to bait them into it. And then you have decks like Tsukiyomi and Jewel Knights and a couple others that like they have their own like unique game plan in this Break Ride vacuum, and you know they're just struggling to either stabilize their board or stabilize their ride chain. But if they do, your opponent's not doing much about it. Double draw trigger, the Luxac flex for my opponent here. Don't mind if I Luxac as well. Definitely gonna get rid of that Tilda. There's no way, there's no way they keep that Tilda on board. Okay. What's the top deck? Another Gancelot, which means I won't be able to utilize my Prismy here, but that's totally fine. They missed Break Ride, so I have free reign to like go aggro. But this board's kind of awkward. Yeah, we'll do this. I'll just push with the Blaster Blade. No point committing pieces I don't need to commit. I could commit this here. I think it counts itself. I could try to push from the 4, but that's a little reckless. No need. Hits the PG. That's actually really good. That's really good. Can we get a second PG out their hand? Can we? Like, that would be amazing. Not quite, but we'll take it. My opponent going full aggro here. They're gonna go ahead and try to just swing face, even up that damage. Next turn will be an amazing turn for Tracy here. The only problem here is that since I don't have PGs in hand, that's also very unfortunate to feel, but since I don't have PGs in hand, if I push damage here, I pretty much lose. So I just can't push them too hard right now, which hurts a little. Just a little bit. That's pretty good. I'll be able to actually do stuff with that. I don't plan to push damage, so I'm just gonna do this. The 12k is going to be annoying for my opponent. I'm gonna drop this heal back in the deck. If I heal now, it'll feel pretty good. So I want to save this for later, even though I will have the open counter blast. Yeah, we'll just swing with it. If I get the heal with Vanguard, then obviously I'll push. But if not, then I won't push. So that's the plan. Oh, there was my one copy. It didn't draw. I really want to play more copies of the 6k Soul Blast 1 when placed from deck to draw a card. But the deck is so xenophobic. I'm already playing Ganslots, and I'm already playing Blaster Blade. So there's not a lot of room for non-Jewel Knight targets after the 8+ cards that I have there. So makes it a little awkward. My opponent opting to cheat in here. I think he's just pushing me to 5 here. Definitely them getting rid of Tracy hurt. Glad they're not getting rid of anything else though, but still. Very unfortunate early Tracy retire. But pretty much at any point, if I played that Tracy, they were going to target it. I felt like. Another Ganslot. I have one more Blaster Blade in the deck, so that works out well. What's the play here? I think I just call another one of these. No harm in that. I got 3 crit to push, so that's also pretty good. You're gonna drop the heal back in deck. I think since Salome has this crit, I can afford to just not push any more damage if my opponent does have the PG, which I think they do. Okay. We're gonna swing with Salome. She'll gain that extra crit and the Bob boost here. Finding myself the draw trigger. Still no PGs in sight though. I really need a PG right now. Yep. So I probably should have played a Blaster Blade. I just realized. Well, time to pray for a heal here. That's the only way. Yep, that is definitely a big misplay. If anyone asks, you guys didn't see it. Yeah, that might have cost me the game. Still have to retire anyways. They are not gonna let me off the hook for this. I do have 2. Gets the draw trigger anyways. Okay. Okay, I understand. Yeah guys, and that's game. Didn't have a heal, couldn't find the PG.